So can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Sorry. My So media queries is part of is a topic under responsive design, and I'm sure you guys covered Flexbox and CSS Grid in your previous class. So we'll be looking at covering media queries for today. So responsive design is a very um, critical topic to understand. It really being that you want to ensure that your website or your app or your web application is responsive across all screen sizes in such a way that okay, if I'm viewing a certain website on my mobile device and if I'm viewing in various devices, I'm viewing on my mobile, if I'm viewing on my tab, on my desktop, or any variation of screen sizes, everything should look well, and um, everything should just look presentable. You get, so you don't want a situation whereby you um, visit a website on your phone and it's looking very cluttered, or you don't want a situation whereby you're visiting a website on desktop mode and it's looking very disorganized. So, and it's a known fact that a lot of um, users are very actively engaged on mobile devices. So it makes a lot of sense um, to build your applications using the first approach principle. So um, media queries comes into play such that you can um, structure your layout in several width and height that would fit into several screen sizes. So you don't so that one is not just limited to just a certain screen um, a certain screen size mode. So you don't just want to be limited to just a desktop view only, or you don't want to be limited to just mobile view only. You want to be able to switch at any point in time, and you want your content to still look presentable. So enough without much talking. Let's do a practical sample. So I would let me see. Let me call this. Um, call this desktop. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Call this. Um, Call this normal. Tab. What else? Phone. And let me see. Let me see. Let me use this. Let me see landscape. Landscape. So we have this, and I mean style the body. Okay, it looks else color of gray, black, blue. Use this background. Ooh. Okay, not bad. So I'll show you a simple illustration of how media queries works. So let me say, let me just do this. All right. Okay. So if you want to, I'm sure you guys are familiar with a very critical tool you guys will need when you want to build website is to use the toggle device toolbar. So you can just inspect and you can click on this mobile phone icon. So based on that, you can use a landscape. You can view on various screen devices. So for iPhone SE, you have this. So making use of this functionality later on. So let me do a demo on how media queries work. So say for example we want to let me hide this back. Okay. Okay, so like back to what I was saying earlier on. So these are various phone devices, and from this you can see that this is the width and this is the height. So for an iPhone SE, this is the width of the phone width, phone height. For iPhone 12 is 390 pixels to 844. I think Galaxy S8, and this is where we switch over to tab. Is a tab view. iPad mini and all. Okay, so let's design for so a good rule of thumb is when you are building website, when you are making your website responsive, it's always a good practice to um, design for mobile devices first, because majority of people use mobile phones. You get, like, you can, because of the audience, large audience reach. So like, it's nobody would want to now. Many people are very interact with their phones. You get, and it's very easy to just open the website, rather than you wanting to turn on your laptop and all. So it makes a lot more sense to um, have that mindset that, okay, when I'm designing or when I'm making my website responsive, have the mentality of building, designing for mobile users. So you're designing your website for mobile users first. Get to mobile first approach. So that means your base styles will be mobile. Then along the line, as the screen sizes increases, you can now um, adjust your designs, your styles to fit other screen sizes. So how do we meter queries? To The syntax of meter queries is just at media screen, or at media, whichever one. So at media, then you need to specify the width. So width. Now the question is, what width are we going to specify? So let me just put, okay. So let me just say 500 pixels. So how do I come about this value? So let's go back here. Let me just comment this. So based on, for iPhone SE, you can see that the width is 375. iPhone XR is 414. iPhone 12 is 390. Pixel 5 is 393. Galaxy S is 360. So it's safe to say that at least the width for most phones will not be more than 500. So the max width is 500 pixels. So I can say that means 500 pixels and or less. So let me change the background. Let me say phone electron display block body color blue. Interesting. So that means when we reach a certain width of 500 or less, we are in the mobile viewport. We've reached the mobile screen size, and that's when this media query will kick in. So I'm saying that, okay, on screen sizes of 500 pixels or less, that is the mobile phone. Let me just put mobile phone here. On mobile phone screen sizes, let these styles apply. So, but if we extend past 500 pixels, you can see that it returns back to the normal default styles. Okay, so let's design for tab. So same media. So usually tabs are tabs are usually wider than mobile phone sizes, so you have tabs between the range of width of 820. Is there any iPad? So you have 820, 768. So 820, 768. So it's safe to say that for tablet sizes, you can say mean width of 501 pixels and max width of 768. So we can let's change the body. I'm gonna color gray. Let me just say tab. So let's see. So it's for mobile screen sizes. Then when we get to so this is for smartphone sizes. We get to 501. So and the width above 500, that's where we hit the screen sizes for tablet. So let's design for let me just call this normal screen size. So I can give this 769 to just a navy, just a green, normal. So this is a tablet view, smartphone view, tablet. Then at the width size of 769, reach the normal screen size. Then let's design. So at this point, I want to design for the desktop or the full view. So you can say full view, media. So in this case, we don't need to specify the main width. So we can just say we want to specify the boundaries. So we can also say here that the minimum width, let's give it 120 pixels. Give this background color. Desktop. So full width desktop. Let me give this white. Okay, so yeah, so these are those several variations. So we have the smartphone view. As we hit a certain breakpoint, we switch to tablets, hit a certain breakpoint, switch to the normal view, and at full view we get to desktop. What else? So if we inspect this page, you see that on iPhone view, on smartphone view, you can see that these styles apply, and how you can easily tell the range of width to the values to come about is just based on the values here, like giving an estimate. So you can see that from here, iPhone width size is 375, 414, 390, and all. So this, you can give like an average width, okay, of phone sizes of less than 500 pixels. Will fall, all phones will fall under this category. Then for SE smartphone, Samsung Galaxy 360, for Galaxy X20 Ultra. So as we hit the iPad view, you get a certain style is applied based on that. So we see we're in tablet view, normal view, tablet view, and all. So in real life, this is how you would want to. It's not in all cases that you have to like structure it this way, but most times you would have to apply this concept. So you want a situation whereby, okay, on desktop view you might have a lot of content, but on mobile view you might want to just restrict it to the most important content that the user or the user is, that you expect the user to interact with, that you also want to be there. So let's use a common example. Let me see Netflix. I don't know if that site is responsive. Okay, so for a good example now, look at this Nest.js documentation. You can see that if we inspect it, let me move this. Yeah, see if we inspect it, you see that as the more we shrink the screen width, the more some certain contents are removed, just leaving the most important content. So now when we reach the desktop view, you can see that only the most important information the field the user needs is only present on mobile views, whereas on desktop view they can afford to put all information because it's a full blown width. So that same concept, and if you check other sites, let's check Netflix, for example.
Hello, boyfriend Smatcha.
Busy.
We both know I did not snatch him.
Okay, so the same thing applies also. Netflix is also responsive. So that's this is just like a simple illustration of how responsive design works. So you have your smartphone, you have your tablet, you have your normal screen size, and you have your desktop view sizes. So I think we've not covered for one. Let's for landscape. So for landscape, we are more particularly interested in the height. So let me just put max height. Max height value landscape. Let's say 500 pixels. Yes, a background. Just a pink landscape. Okay, so let's how do we view? Let's click on. So for this is a landscape icon. So a good way to test it is if we switch. So you can see that the landscape media query kicked in. So although you can see tablet and landscape, reason is because the max height is only what is kicking in, but at the same time the you can see that's a width of what 653, which falls under the category of landscape. Is it landscape? Under the category of tablet, sorry. So between the mean width 500 to 653, so both media queries will apply. So this media query here and this one would kick in. So this is just like a lot. You can get more creative, like as regards coming up with styles or patterns with your media query. So but it's not a certain thing that you should follow this. You should design design in this way, like put breakpoints in this particular order. But most especially you want to put firstly you want to design for mobile devices first. Very, very important. Then you may have desktop, mobile devices, desktop and mobile devices, tablet, media queries for tablet and desktop view. So what happens in that case is that when you are designing your application, you are designing for mobile devices first. So your styles will cater for mobile devices first. Then later on, as you can now expand or modify your styles to suit tablet and desktop as the screen width increases and all. So then there's another way you can so this is like the most popular way of using media queries. There's another approach that you can actually do. You can actually declare your media queries in a different file and now import it. But it's not a popular practice per se. So let me just show you for the sake of so let me say let's say Violet. So to import it, we'll use link media so what I'm saying is that okay, what this statement just means is that this style will only kick in when the max width is 768. When it's 768 or below, so this style should kick in. And let me just put black so it's more, and we will have to move that down here so that our base styles can kick in first before this conditional style applies setting. So we can test it. So let me switch back. So once it's 768 and below, that mobile, you can see that mobile mobile styling, mobile media query kicks in. So this is another approach you can use. You can decide to export your styles. So you can have a style for mobile CSS, you can have another one for tablet.css, you can have another one for desktop.css. You get the logic and so on. Well, I don't know, it's most times like many people decide to write their media queries, embed it in embedding in their CSS styles. So ideally this is not the way you would add your media queries. This is just for the sake of this class, but normally you would add it in your index.css, or you get and all. So this is where your media queries will live most times, like along with your CSS stylings. But for the sake of this class, to avoid the back and forth of moving between files, I just said to just put the stylings here, at least, so I can make reference to it when need be. So this is like a conditional styling. Okay, at max width of 768 or below, let's kick in this style sheet. Yeah, so this is not really that popular per se. A more popular way is just to have your media queries inside a centralized CSS files. Yeah, so this Chrome developer tool is also a very handy tool that you would want to familiarize yourself with, especially when you're building responsive designs, because you need it a lot. So we've covered for smartphones, tablets, normal view, then full-blown desktop view. So this is just like a basic concept to a basic guiding principle of how responsive designs works. So if you want to, I would suggest that okay, when you're building for we are trying to make a site responsive, check out make use of this this functionality here you get. So to know what values you want to apply, so like how I came about these values here, It's just based on the setting device width, just based on estimation. So this Nest Hub, Galaxy Fold, iPad Mini. You can see iPad Mini is 768, iPad Air is 820, Samsung Ultra. So if you can design for like the majority of these phones, you'd have covered for at least phone devices. You'd have covered for at least a large majority of phone sizes. So yeah, so that's what beta query is. It's just setting breakpoints in your designs and applying to such breakpoint will now trigger certain style sheet or certain CSS styles. So it's not a must that it will be triggered at every point, but most especially the mobile view screen device, tablets, and desktop. Those are the three most important screen sizes that you want to factor in, most especially the mobile screen sizes. First of all, that will be your first approach. When you are building, or when you are making a site, when you're even building an app or a web app or a website, the first thing is, okay, how am I going to build for mobile screen users? That should be your first headache or your first worry. How do I build this application for such that mobile users can make use of it? That means when I shrink it in small view sizes, everything looks intact and very presentable. So I gave you an example of looking at this site. So you can see that on mobile device, let's inspect it. So if you go to iPhone, on iPhone, this is what you see. You can see that everything is well presented and all, and it's still retaining the most important information that is in this small width screen size. So your iPhone XR, iPhone 12, iPad, and all. So as we increase it, the width also increases, and more content are being added. So that's just meta queries in a nutshell. Like it's just ensuring that you consider the various screen sizes, and you consider breaking points in your website, such that at each breaking point, your website or your application is responsive, is well presented, and information is not lost. It still retains the most important information that a user would need. So imagine that if I switch to mobile device, I don't see the documentation or source code. I just see some content to get. This is actually, if you looking at this page, the I'm sure you know what CTA means, call to action. So this is actually the most important CTAs that a user wants to interact with. So it makes sense that, okay, on mobile devices, this should just be what a user should see. Or there any other content that is irrelevant will be removed. So just imagine that, okay, on mobile devices, you didn't see any button, any CTA call to action. You're just seeing some content, or you can't, or on mobile screen size, you can't navigate or you can't do perform action clicks. Get you would you obviously you won't you leave that side. So the idea is is to build for mobile devices while retaining the most important information, while not scrapping off or removing important information, basically. So do you guys have any question? uh any question?
It's, sorry, I have one. Like work on the media queries, you mustn't define the like the min and the max. Like you can just use one of the parameters, right?
Actually, I didn't get that.
Like when you're working on like making the screen on the web page responsive, like you can just work with the mean height, sorry, the mean width or the max, like one of the parameters. I'm not using the two, both the mean and the max. Do you get the question now?
Your line is cracking, like, so I can barely hear you.
Okay, like what I'm trying to say is, like in setting out your media queries, must you do for the max width and the mean width?
You,
Or you can just pick one of the
you
parameters.
cannot speak one of them. You get, so I'm saying that it's a progression. So I'm going from a small screen size to a large screen size. So that means I have to start from a mean width, from a um I have to start from a max width. So max width means, if I say a max width of 500, it means 500 and below. You get? So I'm moving
Yeah.
from a small width to a large full-blown width. So I need to cater from what the small um width screens first. So that means at this point I can say that at mean width, at max width of 500 and below, I've catered for all smartphone screen sizes. But if I now want to transition from that to like to like I want to transition from that to a tab. A tab's width is larger than a smartphone. A tab is about um what do I use here? A tab is about um 768. So let's go back here. You can see a tab is about, it's an iPad is about 820. So that means 820 is now greater than what, 500. So you want to now say that you want to use a mean width. So you can now say, at mean width of 500 or 501 and max width of 700 and, let's say, 700 and 820, I want to transition from a phone screen size to a tablet. So you will still need the mean width when you are trying to transition to bigger screens. But when you are starting out with a phone, um, when you are starting out with a mobile device, it's I think it's only max width you need, you get, so to say. So you would because you're sure that for mobile devices, like I said earlier, this is the width of a mobile phone, this is the height. So for mobile devices, you can see that the width is 375. iPhone X is 375. iPhone XR is 414. iPhone 12 Pro is 390. Galaxy Next 8 is 390. So it's all phone width sizes cannot be more than 500. That's why I just put 500 as a breakpoint. Yeah, you get. So now, but I want to now move to a tablet screen size. Of your tablet screen size is higher than 500. Tablet screen size is about 820. So that will be greater than 500 and less than or equal to 820. So that's when you have to use the mean width of 501. So you can now say, at mean width of 500, anything greater than 500 and anything less than or equal to 768, apply these styles for this tablet. So you need mean width at some point. I don't know if I answered that question, but when we're getting to desktop, we just know that okay, for full view, which is desktop with like a full view, so that is like you don't need a max width. You can also specify the minimum width. So you can also say okay, at minimum width of 1200 pixels. That means anything, it has to be 1200 pixels and above. Let these styles apply. So it depends on the screen sizes that you are trying to design for, that you know whether you have to use min width or max width. So if you're just designing for mobile phone screen sizes only, then you can use a max width. If you for if you was like, okay, max width of 500 pixel means 500 and below, that means all phones max width will not exceed 500. So that's like a good assumption, and it's also very safe. And how did I come up with my assumption? You can check from here. So for iPhone SE is 375, for iPhone 12 is 380. So if you check all the smartphones with, you can see that they fall below 500. So that's how I came about this value. So but when you're now transitioning to tablets and normal screen size, that's when you now have to now use a combination of min width and max width and all. So but when you are getting to desktop, you don't need a max width. Desktop can get its you don't need a max width. You can just apply a min width. That means at a certain minimum width of x upwards. This is a desktop view. So if I expand, you can see that here, if I get to, so at full screen, this is a desktop view. But if I now reduce the width, I've gotten to a normal view. I'm reducing it. So I've reached a breakpoint now, a breakpoint of 768. So I'm now in tablet view. I'm still in tablet view up till I reach a smartphone breaking point of 500 and below, all down. So it depends on the screen sizes that you are designing for, that will determine whether you have to use a min width or a max width. But most times for mobile phone devices, you just need a max width. So that means a certain width and below, that's max width. Then for desktop view, you most likely use a min width at a certain width and above. Then for any screen sizes in between, that's when you have to now use a min width and a max width together. I don't know if I've answered your question.
Yes, you have. I'm looking.
Oh?
Yeah, you have. Thank you.
Okay. Any other question? Does anyone have any other question? Okay, so I think we can. This guy is pretty short and straightforward. So it's not, media queries is something that is straightforward. So it's not a bogus topic and all. So this is just a proof of concept to show you how media queries, how you can apply media queries by setting breakpoints where it should be. So I don't think I'll give you guys an assignment. I think I'll have to give you guys an assignment. Yeah. So I'll communicate to you guys later on. So without any further question, I think we should call it a day. So thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you very much.
See you guys soon. Bye.